Go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pastrami Nation, the meat of pop culture. I am excited today. I am interviewing a very special guest. He is the founder of DesignerCon, Decon, also known as Decon, Mr. Ben Goretsky. You guys hear
Hey
that?
everyone, how's it going?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you, sir. I really do appreciate it. Um, Now, DesignerCon has been a convention that I've gone to the last couple of years. But for those that aren't familiar with it, how would you describe DesignerCon, and how does it fit into the world of conventions and the world of pop culture?
It's really hard to describe DesignerCon, which is what makes it so cool and so unique. It's so different from all the other shows. But the best way that we describe it is that it mashes all forms of pop culture and art into one. And the reason why the show is called DesignerCon is that it celebrates all aspects of design. And that's, anywhere from designer toys to apparel to prints to original artwork, customizations, plush toys, anything like that. Anything that has an element of design in it, um, we kind of celebrate that at DesignerCon. So that's kind of the way to describe it, but still it's difficult to picture it. You have to come and actually see it.
You're right. It is kind of hard to describe, and I tried to describe it to my wife before, because I've done a lot of conventions, and DesignerCon's always been one of my favorites. So when I told her last year, like, "Hey, we got to go to DesignerCon," she's like, "Great, what is it? Is it a Comic Con?" No, it's not. But you nailed it. It's kind of that celebration of everything. The artistic design comes together, and melds together. For me, of course, it's my love of action figures. I love going there and seeing like the indie action figure producers, as well as the vinyl toys. I get a big kick out of those. Now, this year, DesignerCon is taking place December 15th through 17th, correct, sir?
That is correct, yes. We got pushed down a little bit, later into the, December part of the year. Usually, we're in November, but this year we're December.
So, what can people expect this year? Like, what's different? What guests do we have coming that kind of sets it apart from the previous year?
So, we always try to mix it up a little bit every year at Decon. This year, well, first of all, because it is December, everybody's kind of like in the holiday shopping mood. So that's gonna be definitely one of those things. We have a lot of vendors already saying, like, "We're bringing out all the deals, we're bringing out all the this is it, my last show of the year, I'm gonna bring in something hot." A lot of holiday stuff coming through, but special things happening on the show floor this year. We've got some really cool stuff. So first of all, we've got the Hollywood 100 Art Show, which is 100 artists celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Hollywood sign. And it's actually going to be 100 Hollywood signs decorated by 100 different artists. So that's going to be something really special. We've teamed up with the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce to make that happen. We've also got the hip hop's 50th anniversary with Def Jam Records. They're going to be celebrating with us on the stage at DesignerCon, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And then also happening on the stage at DesignerCon, we've got our friends from Secret Walls, and they're going to be doing live art battles. If anybody's ever watched Secret Walls, you'll see that it's really exciting. It's kind of like two groups of artists battling it out in person. You root for your team, or you know they they bash each other a lot on stage, but that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, the usual. There's going to be a lot of companies coming from around the world. Um, there's a lot of people that don't celebrate Christmas in the rest of the world, so they're coming out. They're excited to be here in December. Companies from Japan, Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore, they're all coming out and they're bringing in lots of cool exclusives that you don't want to miss. So that's just the tip of the iceberg right there.
Well, that's awesome. And like you had mentioned, it did get moved to the holiday season, but that can be a really good thing because, as a lifelong pop culture person, like I'm kind of hard to shop for. So when you think about DesignerCon, you have all these vendors that have pretty much anything you can think of art all in one place. I remember one of my earlier times visiting. I went there with our photographer, and we were just checking it out. And I learned about this company called Fresh Monkey Fiction that creates these like 3 and 3/4 size like GI Joe style figures. And ever since then, I mean, I have some over here now, but ever since then, I've been a collector, and I was introduced to it at DesignerCon. So I would implore anybody who, whether you have the the fandom of pop culture and art, come and visit. But also, if you have a loved one that they're like me, they're very pop culture centric, this is the perfect place to come and shop and get those gifts. Because I never leave empty handed when I go to Designer Con. I know that's probably a bad thing when you cover Christians a lot, but I never do. I absolutely love it. I always find something new. And it's something that, because everybody thinks like, oh, well, you can just buy it off the internet. It's not true, because what if you don't see it? What if you never come across it? At DesignerCon, you get to come across it and talk to the creators, which it's
Absolutely.
such a great experience,
Yeah.
and everybody's always so awesome, like, to hear about the creative process of it. Last year, I bumped into the Fresh Monkey guys again, and they were talking about their, Christmas action figures, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool. I would never have this opportunity, at a different con," because, it's a more intimate, environment. You get to go and see all these without, like, shoulder to shoulder people, which happens at the bigger cons that we're not going to drop names to. Um, so, but it's a very very fun experience. Like I said, I've been going to Designer Con a very long time. I look forward to it every single year because of that. And sir, you created such an amazing show. It's such an awesome hub for
Thank
creativity. I do have to ask before we sign off. What made you want to create Designer Con?
So, good question. Great question. Basically, I am first and foremost a fan and a collector. And when I first started DesignerCon in 2005, I also have my own little retail toy store and where we sell collectible figures. And when we were running the store, it was online only, and it was like, I really want to get like the fans together. It was really cool. Like I didn't have a retail store. I didn't have any place to meet the fans. And it's such a small niche industry, the toys. Like you think it's a big industry, but it's actually really small. And I would talk to some of the local guys and be like, "Hey, you know, what do you think about like if I did a little show, would you come?" And like this was like local LA based. So it's like maybe 10 vendors, and we're like, "Yeah, let's all get together. Let's do this show." We did it in Pasadena in a 1,000 square foot room, and I think like maybe 100 or 200 people showed up, and it was great. It was like awesome. It's like we had goodie bags at the door. Admission was free. We, like we would just talk about, oh, your collection. People would be trading things, and so that's really how it started. It was like I was a fanboy and I just wanted to meet the rest of the fanboys. And I wanted to kind of have a space for our audience. As we kept growing, that was really the gist of it, and it was more of like we got to support the scene because there's been times, this is our 18th year doing it, and there's been times where this like collector or designer scene has really looked like, oh my gosh, like nobody cares anymore. It's gonna fall apart. Like nobody's collecting. And we were like, no, we just need to get the community together and we need to like just talk and like figure things out and really just have fun. Like let's have fun again. Let's not worry about the other stuff, but let's just have a good time. And so that's been our philosophy always. Like, let's bring in the best that people have to offer. Let's bring in the new guys. Let's let's highlight some of our favorites and let's make a show out of it. And hopefully people will show up. So we've been very lucky that we have had such amazing support like from fans like you that are willing to come, take a look at the show, walk around, explore the stuff, discover something, and support the scene, and that's really what it's all about. So that's where it all came about. It's awesome.
I appreciate that, sir. Yeah, I appreciate the insight into that. I've always wondered because it just to me it came out of this awesome little con. It has everything I love about pop culture in it. So, and more so that you mentioned like Def Jam, and the anniversary of hip hop. Being a massive hip hop head, like that's awesome that you're celebrating that. And then, like you said, the celebration of the Hollywood sign and the anniversary of that. It's fantastic to see and to see it celebrated inside the world of pop culture.
Yeah.
I know time is limited. I just want to thank you once again for your time, sir.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
I do appreciate it. And I want to let everybody know if you are interested in attending DesignerCon, head over to designercon.com and you can
Yep.
get your tickets right there. I recommend getting them before they sell out because that's what conventions do. So get in there, get your tickets, and just go and enjoy. Like you said, sir, it's about having fun. So go and have
Yes.
fun. Um,
Awesome.
Again, sir, thank you so much. I appreciate the time, and I will hopefully see you at the show.